Hey, what's up, DNC Performance at the shop, and still got Jeff's S10 down here, but made pretty good progress. Um, so I had the headers on yesterday. I got those on. The fender wells cut out and everything, and then today, kind of talking to him, and we decided, well, not we decided, but he's running the muffler class. So these are the mufflers that he had on. They're Dynamax, like race bullets. They were on the other exhaust that ran down. So I cut those off, took the collector and I cut it, it came down to like here, pointing straight down. So I cut it back, did like a 3-inch 90. I put a V-band and then just kind of did like whatever bend that is, 22 or something like that, pointed it up a little bit, put the muffler with a 90 kind of pointing it out the side of the truck. I did it on both sides. This side was a little bit harder because the header is actually tucked tighter to the frame. You can see there's like no room there, and then there's a good inch or so there, more than finger room. So this side was a little bit different. So it was like a 90, kind of a 90 to the bullet, to the full 90 pointing out. But I got them positioned so that I wanted the mufflers kind of in the same spot, kind of the same angle. I did my best to get them the same angle and to get the 90s, the little dumps, pointing out in the same spot. So I got that done. And I just painted them with that same exhaust paint that I did with the headers. I left the tips polished. They're stainless. So that's what I had here. So that's what I used for that. I got the fuel cell back out. I got to clean up the top hole, which I have all marked on the top. And I was kind of sitting here looking at it, and I really didn't, you already got the vents sticking out the top. There's two vents, one over here, one over here, and then the filler cap, which has to stick out. So I didn't really want to do like a return and a feed, or do this as a return and have the line running through the bed all weird. So I just kind of thought in my head it would be better to hide as much as I could. I mean, I'm trying to hide the whole fuel cell as it is under the bed. So I drilled a hole and I ground off the powder coating. The fitting is here somewhere. It's here. There is a -6 fitting here. Hiya. Maybe. I know there's one here. Whatever. It's just a -6 straight. There it is. So I ground like the anodized off, and then what I'll do is I'm not worried about the thread. I'm gonna weld that right there, and that'll be my return at the front of the tank. And then I poked around in the bin over there. I have all different size AN stuff, and I found this bulkhead 90. And now normally this would be the piece inside the tank, and it would get the nut from the bottom, but I wanted it hidden. So if I was to put that in the top, it would sit like this out the top of the tank, and then you have a line that you have to hide back in there. So being that I wanted it hidden, I flipped the fitting, and then I used an AN to barb, and that way there it goes. Oh, and I put that little nylon washer on it, but it sticks out the back of the tank, something like that. And then I put another nylon on there, and then the nut will go on there. And then I can run a 90 over to the frame rail and up to the regulator. And then I did make which you might not be able to see it unless I do that. So that little aluminum block in there has a hole in the middle, and then the 2 mounting screws. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take like a 1/4 inch rod and I'm going to weld it up into that block and then have it run down next to the pump and probably just do like a hose clamp down around the pump and this bar, and that'll hold the pump from kind of wiggling around in the tank. It won't wiggle around too much because it's in that sump. So, but you can see the sock sits right at the bottom. It actually has a little bit of room. Can't really see it. It has a little bit of room to wiggle. Once it's all tight, it actually fits pretty good. But I thought that was be different. And then I did the electrical bulkheads, which I also put a nylon on this side and a nylon on the inside. And I'll have to move the ground wire a little bit. Maybe go under the 90. But it goes down to a plug. You can kind of see the plug dangling out the side of the pump over there. And then this is the other half of the plug. So I'm going to connect this to the actual pump. Oh, I see. So yeah, I'll figure out the ground wire there. Let's see. I mean, I should be able to go over it. I might just have to turn the thing a little bit, but I'll connect that other half of the plug onto here. That way you can unplug the pump. You can unscrew it from here, leave the bulkhead in, you know, whatever. I may eventually weld the bulkhead in. I'm not really sure exactly yet, but yeah, so I got to grab some filler rod, weld that little piece in there, but it's threaded. And then I did like little O-rings underneath the screws, and I countersunk the holes so that my hope is that when I tighten it, it doesn't blow the O-ring out. It kind of seats it down inside that countersink. That's my hope. Worst case, I'll put little Teflon washers on those. Weld that in, and then I have some 6-line here. I had another piece. It may be somewhere. Yeah, I have another piece somewhere. Right there? Yeah. So I have another piece of 6 Teflon here. So that's enough to do the feed and the return to the regulator and the filter. So feed to the filter, return from the regulator. And I also have a new clamp to go on the filter. So I'm going to do that. But I'm going to get all that done tomorrow. Took me a little bit of the exhaust the way I wanted it, and to make sure that it clears the tire on the driver's side. You go full lock on the driver's side, but being that this header is off the frame about 1 inch, you can't actually go full lock on this side. So right turns are a little tough. It hits the collector right there. You can kind of see it. Maybe this side. Yeah. So you can see it hits the collector there. So I tried to keep it as tight as I could. And it just barely touches my 90. But it's hitting the collector first. So you can see kind of it's that far away from being full lock. So I may take a little tab of metal, bump the tire out just a hair, and just kind of weld it in, just so when he turns he doesn't actually rub the exhaust and melt the inside of the tire or something. This side, like I said, this side's fine. You can go full lock and it's fine. So, but yeah, just a quick little update, end of the day. I'm getting ready to get out of here. But tomorrow I'll have the fuel cell in. And that's the other big thing. There's minor things. Mount the tranny cooler. And then we're debating on a drive shaft loop. I may do that afterwards because I actually got this sitting right there. It has an oil leak, and I believe it's the rear cover gasket. I have to double check that. I have to get that in here tomorrow, get it on the lift, get that figured out, hopefully pull that transmission, get a new cover on it, and be good to go. So that's it for this video. I appreciate you watching. Do me a favor, hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. It doesn't cost you anything. Hit the bell to be notified of new videos. Leave me a comment. I appreciate you watching. Have a good day.